Welcome to Sports, Wheels, and Reels with Jeff Miller and Austin Horton. One show, two guys, three topics, unlimited possibilities. Presented by Mark Miller Subaru. Engage with us on social media or email us at podcast@mmsubaru.com. And now, welcome your hosts, Jeff Miller and Austin Horton.
Episode 52, Sports, Wheels, and Reels. I'm Austin. He's Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Austin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Oh, we should do an ASMR episode where we just talk like this.
Just talk really quiet.
Or we just whisper.
That'll be really good.
And we just make sounds like we click our nails against the phone and stuff like that. But no one will ever listen to that or watch that, so we'll continue on. Today at Sports, we're talking jazz. We're talking Brittany Spears. Yes. And
is that in Reels or in Sports?
Oh, it might be. Also Damian Lillard to the Jazz. Confirmed? Nah, not yet. Tell you about that. Also in Wheels, not good news out of New York, New Jersey, but good news out of Subaru headquarters in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And in Reels, I have a question for you, Jeff. Remembering summers past, summer movie memories. Like summer movie memories.
The big summer blockbusters?
Yes. What was your first and favorite? Our video camera doesn't like my face today. We'll fix it. Be right back with Sports, Wheels, and Reels. Stay tuned.
I'm Spencer Kofed, and my Subaru is Extreme Adventure. Outback's really great for my lifestyle. It has just enough space for all my gear, but it's not crazy big of a footprint. If any of my friends were looking to buy a Subaru, I'd recommend Mark Miller Subaru, so you never feel like they're hiding stuff from you. Whether it's skiing, skydiving, mountain bikes, surfing, my Subaru gets me out on my adventures. Subaru is a brand I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the Utah retailer that I love.
All right, Jeff, let's talk sports.
Sports!
Let's start with the Utah Jazz Summer League thoughts.
Did you watch the games?
I have watched a few moments here and there. Did you watch the games?
Okay. I watched the whole game last night.
So, Keontae George, let's start there. Real, not real. What is the truth?
It's real.
Really?
He looks like
it's really real.
Because what happens is you get into some of the games, and guys have stat line that doesn't really matter. What really matters is how they look in the game. And you watch Keontae George play, he belongs. Like, he's one of the best players on the floor at any given moment. And that's what you want to see in the Summer League thing. Where the shots fall, his shot looks good.
The form's fine.
The form looks good. It's a quick release. Like, he's comfortable taking it off. He's confident. He's confident in his passing. He looks like he could run an NBA team, which is all you really want for a 19-year-old kid.
I can't believe he's 19.
He's only 19.
That's so silly.
He's got good size. He's 6'4". He's quick. He's really fast down the court.
What about his handle?
I think his handle's been great.
Yeah, I do too.
He only had, 2 turnovers?
Yeah.
Something like that in 3 games? Or 4 turnovers in 3 games?
Now, how much
I think him and Agbaji are a pretty cool backcourt.
Who's it? Oh, Agbaji?
I think you get those two as a backcourt. That's a pretty fun backcourt.
Well, 4 years from now, they should be pretty good.
That should be the starting backcourt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now, when we talk about Summer League...
As if Dame's not here. Still. Getting paid 60.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
$62 million in 4 years.
Summer League, Vegas Summer League, which has become the Summer League around the NBA.
Do the other guys play, you think? Do you think you get to see Hendricks and Sensabaugh?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think they just held them out just as a precaution. I think they wanted to see some other guys play. And
that was the disappointment of the Jazz, or Salt Lake City Summer League, I should call it. Is you didn't see Hendricks. You didn't see, I guess, Sensabaugh is a disappointment that he didn't play. I wonder, Jeff, do you think that the days are numbered once again for Summer League in Utah?
No, I think it serves its purpose. And I think the teams that do it because they get an extra 3 games, which is huge when you're talking about these rookies.
Yeah. They're losing teams, though, that are participating.
Yeah, they only had 4 teams. They've had 4 teams the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is that you get, for those teams that want to get that extra Summer League in before, which is like, there's that league and then there's the Sacramento one, right? Sacramento has a Summer League as well.
Didn't Orlando have one? Or is
Orlando was there when it was everybody.
Okay.
Everybody went to Orlando.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so now it's in Vegas because it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's going to go have fun.
Okay.
Michael Rubin's having a party.
Oh, my gosh.
it going to be a white party in Vegas?
Again?
A different color? Like a blue party?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
But
so dumb. I'll never buy another Fanatics thing.
I don't think Summer League goes away.
Okay.
In Salt Lake, because I think that the Jazz get out what they want. They get 3 more games to see what their rookies have. Right? I mean, you're going to talk about this. By the end of this, you're going to get to see Keontae George play 7 games. It's a pretty good sample size to know what you've got going into preseason.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And gives you the 7 games also gives you what to have him work on for the next 3 months before preseason.
That's the big one, is it gives the team film to put in front of a rookie and say,
this is what you work on for the next 2 months. You've been running our offense. Here's what we need you to do. We need to work on this shot, this move, right? I mean, it's probably Agbaji's biggest issue in Summer League's been finishing at the rim, which is crazy.
That's all mental. That's all in his head. Yeah.
But, I mean, he's looked good, too. I mean, he took over in the second half of that game last night. I mean, he was without question the best player on the floor last night.
Yeah, I think that Abaji's ceiling is still higher than Keontae George right now.
What's his ceiling?
Starting 2 guard.
Rotation player.
No, I think his ceiling is to be the starting 2 guard.
On a contender.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Keontae George's ceiling might be higher, though, because
does that make you an all-star? Does he have an all-star ceiling?
Why not? Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's
bold.
He's a
bold call here this morning.
He's a second-year guy. If he plays 20 years in the NBA, why couldn't that be his ceiling, right? But I'm not predicting it. I'm saying that is his ceiling. Yeah.
Does Collins have an all-star chance?
Yeah.
That was confidence inspiring.
Yeah. But it's the West is just, it always has been rough in the West. Did you, by the way, our friend David Locke is saying that things like this week, he's saying that, yeah, the Jazz got better in this way, that way, and the third way. So the whole
West?
But so did the rest of the
I heard
conference.
that. I listened to that show.
And he thinks they're going to have a hard time getting in the playoffs. Now, hard time is relative.
I mean, we talked about this last week. I think this is a 42 to 45 win team, as constituted. Ceilings 48, bottoms 35.
Yeah. I think that they should be in the playoffs. Given what they did last year,
the key right now,
what they added this offseason, they need to be in the playoffs.
The key right now is that they want to get rid of their pick next year.
Yes, so that's true.
They do not want that pick to convey to OKC, which is a top 10 protected.
Yeah.
So they don't want one of the 10 worst records in the league. So they're going to be pushing. They're not going to be resting Jordan Clarkson the whole second half of the season because he was hurt.
Yeah, for sure. His hamstring was tight.
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever.
So, I mean, they're going to play. They're going to play for the wins, and so I think this team's built pretty well for regular season too. And so I think Vegas is going to give them an over/under around 37, 38.
I'll go over,
and I'd be over all day long.
All right, let's.
Well, there's still a lot going on. There's still, we're only like 5 days into free agency.
But if you had to today, you'd probably pick it.
I think they're winning 42 to 45 games. That was my range.
Speaking of,
barring major injury.
Speaking of, and they haven't yet consummated the John Collins deal.
There are rumors there's a couple other teams going to be jumping into it.
Yeah.
But there's just like some little filler stuff. And
I saw one that considered a 5-team trade.
But the thing is, it's agreed to.
Yeah.
Obviously, considering that John Collins has been on the sidelines the past 2 games.
Will Quinn Snyder and company.
You love the lack of care about tamper rules these days in the NBA, because John Collins is officially an Atlanta Hawk and has been sitting on our sideline for the last 2 days, giving high fives to players as they come down the court. I love that he's there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool that he's been there the last couple of games, cheering off the team in the front row.
That's pretty. Yeah,
I think that shows a lot. Marketing would be there, but he's shooting people and
not in Finland's army.
Shooting targets.
They're fighting reindeer in Finland.
Dame
Lillard, Utah Jazz. Last week I told you I would do anything and everything to get him
now
on the Utah Jazz.
Now when you hear all the crap his agent's putting out there, if you won't report to camp, you call the bluff?
Yes. I still trade the entire kingdom for a guy like Damian Lillard, and if it burns up in my face, I lose my job. But if it works, it's amazing.
Is there anybody you wouldn't trade?
Larry Markkanen's the only person I would trade. I would trade Walker Kessler. Now the problem here is that you trade the player and you trade a whole bunch of picks to a division rival who could, for 10 plus years, make you rue the day you did this.
Yeah.
But it's Damian Lillard.
I don't think you trade Kessler.
I do.
I think your only untouchables are Markin and Kessler, and maybe Clarkson.
Who gives you a better chance at winning a championship in the next 2 years? Walker Kessler or Damian Lillard?
But I don't think Damian Lillard wins your championship without Kessler. I think part of what makes the Damian Lillard thing a unique situation for him that the NBA has really never seen is to have that scoring point guard with an extremely most efficient number 2 scorer in the NBA, which would be a Lauri Markkanen, and then have that defensive presence in the middle with the front line of Collins. You probably lose Collins. If you're getting rid of Lillard, you've got to trade 2 of the big numbers, right? So you're trading either Collins, Olynyk, Sexton. Some combination of the 2 of those is in that trade just to make salaries work.
I'm okay losing all of them. If it means Damian Lillard is with the Jazz for 4 years. Which that's his contract, right?
Here's the other.
3 or 4.
So there's 2 big names on the trade block right now. The other one's been a lot more quiet. Siakam. What do you trade for him?
Collins
and Sexton?
I would trade Collins and Sexton for Pascal Siakam.
If you guarantee the extension.
He's not like a Kawhi Leonard where you're like, yeah, we'll rent him for a year.
He's got to sign the extension.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a sign and trade.
Which would be a 5-year, 192.
Yeah, I think with Lauri Markkanen.
That's the thing is if you could have Siakam and Markkanen both locked up on a 4-year 192 contract.
Yeah.
Would you ride with those 2 and say those are the 2 that are going to take you to a championship?
Yeah, and you've got Jordan Clarkson locked in.
Those are 2 number 2 players. You need a 1.
Not you don't anymore, do you?
You don't need a 1. You think those 2 could take you to the promised land?
Why not?
If you had Kessler too, that'd be a pretty solid front line.
That is great. And then you still have Abaji.
You still have Abaji. If you
Taylor Hendricks, Keontae George.
You'd probably give up Hendricks to get Siakam.
Okay. You still have Kelly Olynyk.
Because think about that. If you have all those big men, you don't really have minutes for them anymore.
I guess.
It's only 5 players on the court at once.
The truth is, Damian Lillard will not be playing for the Utah Jazz. I'm pretty confident that's not going to be.
Will Damian Lillard be on Miami's opening day roster?
No, he will not be.
I think Portland holds him.
Portland has all the power.
I think Portland holds him, sits him on the bench to the trade deadline, and then does something then, and it does great things for Portland because they get to play Scoot, and then they'll get to just get tanked.
Yes,
and they'll have 5 wins by the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And they'll be ready to get another high draft pick next year while still having the leverage of trading everything on Dame.
The beautiful
and they look like the hero.
Because Damian Lillard's agent is doing the agent thing.
Goodwin.
Trying to get Aaron Goodwin, trying to get him to Miami, period. And he's the one leaking that he won't come to any camp, that you're trading for a disgruntled locker room cancer.
Before. I saw a cool article talking about Garnett was the same way before he went to the Celtics.
Yeah.
There are articles about Garnett. I'm never going. There's no way you're going to find me in Celtics green.
Mike Conley did it to the Utah Jazz.
They'll do it.
Michael Conley Jr., who's the consummate professional. His whole thing was the same
that all gets
song
leaked,
and dance.
And then you get where you're at, and if the situation turns great, then everything's happy.
Well,
you start winning. Winning cures all.
I think Damian Lillard's character is actually the truth here, not what the agent is presenting.
And Damian Lillard's an incredible human being.
And he will play hard where he is.
As someone who has some pretty good inside knowledge on who Damian Lillard is, he's an exceptional human being.
Is he?
Yeah. My brother-in-law was his coach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, up at Weber. Huh. So, yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Well, I don't think he'll be with the Utah Jazz, but I still would trade.
I don't think they trade him. I don't think on day one I would bet money against the.
Why should they? Why do they have to?
For nothing?
Why do
Tyler Hero?
They don't have to trade him at all. They don't have. They could sit him for 4 years.
I would love the Jazz
pay him
to sneak in on the side of that and pick up an asset or 2
as a third team. Could see it be done.
You pick up a hero.
I'd love Tyler Hero with the Utah Jazz.
That'd be a pretty awesome starting too.
That'd be great. Would you start him over Jordan Clarkson?
I think you'd start him and Clarkson as the guard line.
Well, you still need a 1, Jeff.
You listen to what the Jazz are talking about is that you talk about having 4 guys to facilitate. And you don't need a 1.
I don't think you do anymore.
Right?
About 10 years ago, I thought.
There's no throw to the same guy, get up the court. The way the Jazz have played the last few years, it's you get the rebound, you throw it to anybody. But you see Markin grab the rebound and just takes off down the court.
Yeah.
Like everyone brings the ball up the court. You saw it in the summer league.
Yeah.
You saw Micah Potter's bringing the ball up the court. Yeah. Micah Potter's bringing the ball up the court. Anybody can bring the ball up the court.
The thing that the Michael Conley trade did was prove that you don't need a traditional 1 through 5 anymore. What you need is a 3 that can play a 5 and a 1.
What do you think about a starting lineup of Clarkson, Hero, Markkanen, Collins, Kessler?
That's a top 3 team in the Western Conference.
That's an awesome starting lineup.
Yep.
And then you still have Sexton, which you love.
Yeah, I love
bench.
Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton is, he's so good at nothing on the basketball.
We still have a Linux, probably one of the better backup centers in the league coming back.
I still think the best backup center.
If they could pull off a Hero as part of that deal and give up a couple draft picks for it,
yeah.
you give up 2 first-round draft picks just to facilitate that trade for Portland?
It's fun.
I think it'd be cool. I like that deal.
And then finally, I'm going to call an audible on you if that's all right.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Darren Williams thing down the road.
I love the Darren Williams conversation, though.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got 2 more stops then on
I'm
Sports
going to
Wheels and
answer
Reels.
one really easy answer, so go for it.
Well, before we get to the Darren Williams thing, real quick before we leave Summer League, Victor Wembanyama versus Brittany Spears.
Having his team slap an American hero like that? What's he doing?
Who's telling the truth? Is Brittany Spears telling the truth?
So Brittany Spears says she came up and tapped him on the shoulder, and the security guard turned around and backhanded her.
And beat her to hell, yeah.
He says that some crazy lady came and grabbed him from behind, and the security just reacted.
And then he later found out it was Britney Spears.
Yeah.
This story is so weird from every angle you look at it.
And he's like, my security guys told me we're in Vegas, so I don't ever stop walking straight. Like, 'cause if I stop, everyone's gonna get around me.
Which is true, I think.
Yeah, but
because he is the star of Summer League. He is the reason. That is why I think.
I think Brittany was probably all dolled up and probably looked like a crazy lady walking through Vegas. Like, I could see it. Like, really? Like,
dolled up, looking like a. You think Britney Spears
as someone who was in Vegas last week and loves the people watching aspect of Vegas, you could see like how it would look like some crazy lady's coming and grabbing me.
I believe that he didn't know it was Britney Spears.
But still, like, you also have a 5'2" woman coming grabbing your 7-foot guy behind you as the security guy. You probably could refrain from backhanding her.
Yes, I would say
you probably could just grab her off.
I would say to Spurs security, lay off the Adderall, baby.
Yeah, I think he got a little excited. My guess is that guy's probably not Spurs security anymore.
No, I bet he is. I'll bet the Spurs are fine with it, actually. But here's the craziest.
Second best NBA security move ever. The best is the guy who was it the Cleveland game? Remember the guy who was like sitting on the sideline?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, and they knew that a protester. They had like intel that a protester was going to go, and he was just sitting there the whole game. And within like 1 foot of that protester hitting their court, she is on the ground, like in a chokehold.
I think the craziest part of this story to me, Jeff, is why does Britney Spears care so much
to say hi to?
Yes.
Because it's Wemby.
Who's he to Britney Spears? If we're talking,
she should be well above Wemby in the echelon of the world.
He should be the one going, oh my gosh, that's Britney Spears. It shouldn't be Britney Spears going, oh my gosh, that's a guy who just got picked #1 overall in the NBA.
Does that make Wemby look cooler or less cool? That he didn't care?
I guess it makes his stardom rise.
His stardom should have gone up, right?
And it's a sad day for Britney that she cares so much.
We'll see what he does tonight in his debut. If he can keep that stardom up.
Oh my gosh!
Think Brittany's going to be there watching?
No. Now here's the last thing. Conspiracy theory. Is Britney Spears and Victor Wembanyama really trying to get something going?
Do you think they did it together
there?
just to get the hype up?
Yes.
I like it.
I
like going that deep.
Is this a tabloid launched story? We shall see.
I love it.
All right, lastly, Darren Williams, should his jersey hang in the rafters of the Delta Center, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Enough said. That's just the little thing going around on the dying Twitter this week.
He did enough for the Jazz franchise. He absolutely should.
Is he the best or second greatest point guard in franchise history?
Yes.
I think so, too.
Who else would you put in there? John Crotty?
Howard Isley?
Isley?
Donovan Mitchell, if you consider him a point guard.
He wasn't a point guard.
No? Okay.
No, Conley was a point guard.
Nah, and he's not in it. Darren Williams, we both agree it should. Will it eventually take place?
I think it should. I mean, he's been around the team enough.
No, we both think it should, but will it?
I think he's been around the team enough lately and like been part of events and things like that.
Yeah.
That I think it will be.
All right, there you
What
go.
about Boozer?
Well, if you're going to hang Darrens, shouldn't you then hang Boozers? My dad and I were talking about this over the 4th of July while he helped me build a gazebo, which is what I did on the 4th of July.
Sounds fun.
And he said, no, Boozers shouldn't, because without Darren, Boozer isn't as good as he is.
Okay. Interesting argument.
All right, coming up next in Wheels, we're talking about cars on fire, and not in a good way. Stay tuned.
My name's Jamie Estry, and my Subaru is Freedom. I've had so many animals over the years. One of the things that I love about Mark Miller Subaru is they're the largest animal welfare supporter in the Salt Lake Valley. You may not even realize it, but they're probably supporting a nonprofit that you love in the community. And my wife and I, our daughter Harper, and our dogs, we're just so happy that we picked Mark Miller Subaru. Subaru is a brand that I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local retailer that I love.
All right, Jeff, let's talk about Reels, episode 52. Episode 52.
Wheels, not reels. Wheels.
Wheels? What am I talking about?
Sports, wheels, and reels. Reels is third.
Well, maybe I was just, my 5-year-old still are R's with W's. And we've been thinking, is it time to get it? And we're like, no, let's let her be cute for as long as she can be. If she's going into junior high, still saying.
I was arguing with my 9-year-old yesterday because he kept trying to say can't. And wouldn't say the t at the end of it.
Can't?
So can't. As I said, say can't. I'm like, no, you're saying can.
You can't say for like can't 5 minutes. Without the
They have to have the t. There has to be a t
Nah.
at the end of it.
This Leighton boy says, you're good, 9-year-old. You're good. Keep going.
All right.
Embrace your Utah.
He understands it means the opposite thing. When you
Drink
don't
some
want it,
water
to be
in the
honest.
mountains near Leighton.
I guess I can. No, you're not saying that.
All right, Wheels. We're talking Wheels. Some bad news. There's a cargo ship in the Newark port that has been on fire for 3 days. They have lost 2 firefighters trying to put this thing out. And it is full of automobiles, full of cars. And the problem is, now they say the ship's still stable, that they're not worried about it sinking, even though it is listing a little to the starboard side, I believe.
They also said there's no electric cars on it, which is a good thing.
There's no EVs, but the trade-off there is that every one of these cars has a full tank of gas, which I would dispute that. I read that in the article and I thought, is it a full tank or it's a tank with gas in it? Because they don't show up with full tanks of gas.
They don't ever put. They usually put. It's like a gallon.
2 to 3 gallons,
I don't think
maybe.
it's even that much.
Yeah, but one drop of gasoline is enough to ignite this fire.
1,000 cars. It's
Yeah.
a lot more gasoline.
And they aren't sure that they've had the equipment or the
The
training.
boat has gas in it too.
The boat has gasoline. They also haven't noticed any sheen in the water, so they don't think the water's been contaminated
They're not
yet.
running that cargo ship by sail.
That's right. The Black Pearl. But
Very environmentally friendly car companies that are bringing it across by sail.
take that, Rivian. How are you getting your...
That would be the ultimate in greening an auto company.
All right. This is bad
It's
news.
not Subarus though, right?
It is. From what I can read, what I've read is there's no Subarus on this thing. So our cars are still good. But I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often.
Ships catch on fire?
Especially with cars on it. Because we mentioned all the fuel on there.
Yeah, but how often does a car catch on fire?
Well, have you ever watched The Deadliest
How often
Catch?
does a non-Tesla catch on fire?
These people, these ship workers aren't exactly non-smokers, Jeff.
Sure. I mean, but those ships don't have that many people on them.
You don't think so?
No, I've been on them. I've been on a cargo ship with cars on it. They're actually pretty crazy. Like, their floors are decked by the type of car it is.
Yeah, there's
So, I was on
12 floors on this
Yeah,
thing.
I was like on a Toyota one, and so like you go to the sedan level. The sedan level was shorter than me.
Just enough
like
for the
5
car?
feet, just enough for the cars. Every car is chained down. They're chained down to the level where the ship can go to 45 degrees in any direction with no damage to the cars.
Wow.
And the craziest part, watching them unload those cargo ships is like the craziest thing in the world.
Well,
because it's all dock workers. Oh, the dock workers are crazy because they get paid by the load.
Yeah.
So they're flying off the deck at like 40 miles an hour, catching a couple inches of air. Like,
oh, that's good. That
just
car
know
you just
that's
ordered.
just know that's what's happening to your cars coming off the deck.
Getting Ferris Buellered.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's why we PDI cars when we get them to double check all these things.
Your Honda Civic has already been rallied at the port. Before it comes to
That's first mile, that first half a mile of the odometer.
So that's why the STI went away. Let's just get rallied up.
Way too much fun.
But good luck, and we hope for the best.
Hope they get that thing down.
Hopefully we don't lose anyone else at that ship. All right, and then Subaru numbers for the month of June, Jeff.
Monstrous.
Huge. Up 28%.
Yeah, 20%. The nice thing is it's all inventory driven. They're finally making cars. I mean, we've had back-to-back allocations over 150 cars at each store. Like, it's good news.
Yeah, you don't have to worry anymore about waiting months and months and months for that car. You still can. If you come and we don't have the exact color that you have to have, we will still order you a car. But now that's not the first thing we do.
No.
That's the last thing we
now
go
you
to.
actually walk to the lot and look at what you have. You could actually leave with a car that day.
That's right.
And that hasn't happened for quite a while.
Yep. So it's exciting, and especially given where Subaru and inventories were 18 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's good shape. Subaru's up 15% year to date. It's the first half they sold 300,000 cars. So tracking well over 6. I think the year is still 680. So looking for even a bigger second half than the first half.
And Forester is up the high. That's also due to Forester production being the lowest at one point.
Yeah, last year the Forester production was down so much, but to see that Forester production up, and it's nothing but good things. We're going to have a good second half of the year for sure.
All right, that's it for Wheels. Coming up next in Reels, talking summer movies, memories, and fun. Stay tuned.
My name is Sierra Hudson. My Subaru is safety for my family. So this past winter, we hit a black ice and we just started to slide. And it was just one of those moments where you truly feel helpless. I know it's a car, but it means so much more to us and our family. Subaru is one of the safest brands, and I've personally lived that. Subaru is a brand you can trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local Utah retailer that you will love.
Thanks for listening to episode 52 of Sports Wheels and Reels. Now it's time for Reels, Jeff. And there's not a huge movie coming out this weekend. There is several huge movies coming out next weekend and beyond. Mm-hmm. Next weekend, you've got the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Are you
a Mission Impossible fan?
Yes.
Okay, good.
100,000 billion, trillion, gazillion percent.
Good.
A Google percentage amount.
How old's Tom Cruise now?
97 years old. But he's a Scientologist, so he's magic.
What's more impressive, Tom Cruise doing his stunts at 60 whatever he is, or Harrison Ford doing his at 80?
Yeah, Harrison Ford is not doing any stunts.
Have you seen the movie?
Have you?
No. I assume he does something that's...
All I've read about the movie is that the de-aging is terrible.
Indiana Jones. He's got to at least run somewhere at some
I don't think so.
You think he's just stagnant at a desk like a professor?
I think when you see Harrison Ford on that screen, he was very static.
There's going to be no action. He's not going to hit anybody. He's not going to punch anybody.
It will appear he did, but that wasn't him.
The thing is all stuntmen, and he's just the static.
I'll bet he moved 10% of what you see him moving in that movie. Yeah.
Okay. After I see it, we're going to come back and have this conversation.
Okay. But
I think I'm going to see it on Saturday.
So you've got Dead Reckoning next week.
I'm going to go to a movie theater on Saturday.
I was going to say, you have to see some of these movies. Like,
you have to see it.
Mission Impossible is a movie theater movie.
Barbie, totally a movie theater.
Not a movie theater movie. Oppenheimer, probably a movie theater movie.
Oppenheimer looks good.
And so next week you got Mission Impossible, followed by the next weekend you've got a double feature of Barbie and Oppenheimer, and then it just takes off from there. So Jeff, being that we got to wait a week for a summer blockbuster release, what is a summer movie memory of yours growing up?
I'm trying to think. Summer
specific, because like
the only one that hits my mind is the original Top Gun, because that would have been mid '80s. I would have been really young though.
6 or 7.
I would have been 6 or 7. Yeah.
You probably didn't see that in the theater.
I probably had bad parents that took me.
Take your breath away. Oh my gosh, there's a scene in that movie a 6-year-old shouldn't be seeing.
That's one scene.
Take me. All right. Yeah.
Scene that you shouldn't be seeing either.
Yeah. I fast forward through. I have VidAngel. I don't watch that. I don't watch those poopy
What's your summer movie
scenes? This is what came up. This is what brought it up for me. Is I have a very distinct memory of going to the movies without my parents, me and just a buddy from school in the summer to see Mission Impossible 2.
Okay.
And I felt so grown up and so. It was PG-13. I was being a little naughty.
Well, you're not 13.
Oh, maybe I was, but I was Mormon, and we weren't supposed to be.
No, that's true.
No, my parents
were a more sheltered life.
My parents were okay with it. Okay. Had they not been, I wouldn't have been going. I tell you that. But I just remember, and that's the not good Mission Impossible 2, but it holds such a heart place.
But do you think, like, even with all these big movies coming out, you think there's still that like theater buzz where the theaters are going to be packed next week?
No. Well, yes, for that movie, yes. Because that's a movie theater movie.
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise, as nuts and psycho as he is, he's doing his best to save movie theaters and that whole experience by making these movies in the way he does.
What percentage of his stunts does he still do?
100%. He does not have, he's never had and will never have a stunt double. It's in his contracts.
How old is he?
63?
61.
61.
Not bad.
But again, he's Scientologist. He's magic.
He did a lot better than Val Kilmer in aging.
Okay. All right, Jeff. That's a low blow.
They're the same age.
Yeah, but Val Kilmer's had terminal diseases.
But even before he had terminal diseases, Val Kilmer
was not nice to himself.
No.
Yeah, he did choose some vices.
It's the Scientology stuff. I think they're onto something.
All right, but yeah, for me, it's Mission Impossible 2. I love that franchise. I'm excited for next week. And for you, it was Top Gun at the ripe old age of 5,
6, 7, 8.
You got the.
How old am I?
You learned the science of life and how it's created very early.
Yeah.
I was just told last week where babies come from, and I have 2 of them. So.
There you go. Good work.
It was an awkward conversation. Wait, that's how we got these kids?
Your wife was very proud.
No wonder the mailman was present at the birth. All right. He's Jeff. I'm Austin, soon to be divorced, I'm sure. Ashley, Katie, behind the scenes. We'll see you on episode 53. Until then, Utah by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Trust me.